Morning ladies, come today to have a very quick little talk on how to make some flowers. Deb Hendrick asked me how I made my flowers. This is just two of the types of flowers I make, and they're probably the quick and easiest. To start off with, I will show you how I fold my material there. I start with strips from around about either 1 inch to 2 inches wide. Sorry, I'll put that down there. Fold this is like a nylon curtain material, so it's going to be very soft and to go underneath the flower. Keep folding it in half till you end up with a piece round about so. With a pair of scissors, this is what's going to make our scallop. We're going to cut it. Get done with a bigger pair of scissors. Excuse me. We're going to cut our scallop out around the flower. Okay. Right. Okay, so when you open that out, you have a scalloped edge, like you can see on these ones here. Very easy. That's what we're going to use for the second part of the flower. Today I've used a cotton and a little, I'm not sure what the other one is, I think it's also a cotton. All we're doing is putting the two pieces of fabric together so we get a double frill, and I'm going to just edge with a stitch, a running stitch, all the way down to the end of the material. So we have like so. All your material is just gathered. Pull your material through. Now, and when you pull your material through, you're going to want this to go into a shapes of petals. So you need to pull it fairly firmly, but you don't want to pull it that tight that you can't move your petals. With your two ends, put them together and just put a small little stitch in the back, like so. You could use a dab of glue if you wish, and then pull your flower as tight as you want your petals to be. So you're ending up with, I just put another stitch in there to make sure that's not going to go anywhere. I use a bag needle. You could use a bag needle, a doll needle, anything that's fairly long so that you can get your stitches all on. Okay, so we're just going to give that a little snip, and you have the two layers of material. You have your cotton one underneath and that little lacy one on the top. Now, fun part, decoration. You can add all sorts of things on the top. Because this is quite a light little material, I wouldn't add a great deal. You may want to add something just as simple as a little flower or a bow, or maybe a little bit of bling, a wedding applique that's just a tiny piece of that. Any of those things make it look really, really pretty. The one that I've made here, which I'll show you, I've made this one, which I'll show you in a moment, in a shabby chic. So as you can see, the material is extremely shabby on the outside. Then I've used that same little white piece in the middle, just to make it soft. I've used a little Dove resin just to make it as a centerpiece. So if I was going to put that into a lace book or something, it's not too thick. It's not overly thick. If you add it onto something that was on a wall hanging that could take a bit more depth to it, you could make all sorts of things. Like this one's got a really lot of depth to it. It's got layers made the same way, but has a doily in the middle, and then more, and then of course the big flower top in the front. So depending on your project and how much you want to use in the thickness. Today we're going to use this one, and we're going to make it very thin because I'm going to be using it for something very thin. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could add some stamens before we actually put that flower together, or maybe some pearls, and then you pick yourself out something you want to put in the middle, say this little fella, and if you like that, you put it all together. Pull your pleats to where you want them. Pop your glue in the middle. Oops. Paper your stamens or your pearls, or you might like to use eyelash trim, anything you like. Just going down there first, placing our bling on top, firm push down, and you have yourself a pretty soft little flower. Now you can open those, well, it's not quite set, you can open those underneath if you wish. So you've got a little bit of colour and contrast, but you haven't got a lot of thickness. This one is a bit thicker. Now for the shabby chic edging, what I do is I rip my material. So as here you can see, rather than cut it, I've ripped it. So by ripping it, you get a real shabby edge. Now those ones I don't scallop, I just add them that same way again, running stitch right through the middle, down, pull them together like a flower, like this one has been done, and then you can, again, you could use any contrasting colour you like underneath. So imagining this was a running stitch through there, you could put that underneath. Then you could add any sort of bling, flower top, anything you want to add to it, dove, maybe a bow, and these all decorate up. These are the two quickest, simplest flowers to make. You can make up bagfuls of them and just use them as you need them for your projects. I hope this helps in some way, Deb, and if you are still unclear, please let me know. I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions. As you can see, we end up with quite a bundle full of little flowers to use on projects.